when I get done with this, I'm going to be stronger than I was before I tore the ACL. It's like I blew my ACL back in, I think it was early June of 2019. At first I questioned it. My daughter's a trainer, and she felt that she wasn't sure, so she sent me to our doc. And he goes, yeah, you shredded it really well. We had about 6 weeks before we could get to the surgery, and then I had to have clean-out surgery about 5 weeks later because it just wasn't healing up right. I started to progress really well through PT and everything. I thought I was on track. And then about January, I overdid my PT exercises on some hopping and stuff like that. And I had to take about 2 months off. Then COVID hit, and that put me farther back. And again, you just go on that slide going downhill. It's like, man, this is, the leg was bad. The pain in the knee was bad every time I would move, or it felt like the knee joint got weaker when I was really down in the dumps on this because like I told you before, I wasn't making any progress. And I got on one of those ACL rehab sites, and I was reading down a blog, and you had put a post on there, hey, if you need anything, you might check us out. So I checked you out because, like I said, I was down there. That's about as far as I could go, and I didn't think I was going to come back. And so I looked you up on the internet, I looked up your company, and then I got in touch with you right before Christmas, and, the rest is history. Albeit, it's tough. And I want people to know that it is hard. It's some of the hardest work I've ever done. When we got done with session 1, I thought, yeah, I've got this. And then you hit me with session 2, and it's like, oh, man, it was worse. But it's like, if I had to go to hell or back to get here, I was willing to do that, like I told you before. And I'm so glad that I looked you up. It was worth it. It's just worth it, period. If you're like that and you want to get back. And, it is. It's hard work. It hurts. But it's well worth it, man. It is. So for me, it's been a real blessing, but it's still a hated blessing. You don't want to go through it. But because I've gone through it, it's made me a better martial arts teacher, a better trainer for older adults, and I'm a lot wiser than I was before. And I can appreciate it when somebody says, oh, I have pain here, and I have to see if I can work around it. Going through the rehab with you, you were able to help me work through that pain, and you also helped me work through the mental aspect of that, because it's hard to go through pain, unless you're kind of, like you said, strong-willed or something. I've read a lot of stuff on those ACL rehab sites where it's like people, they just feel like they can't do it, and you really have to want it to get through that. If you could get $1 million, or if you could get back to the way that you were, which would you choose? And I'm that guy. I don't hesitate. I said, I want to get back to the way I was physically, because I've always been a physical being. And I love doing the sports. I love doing things. Now we've got grandkids, and I want to be with them. So it's like, it's a no-brainer. I wanted to get healed up and get back to where I could move and go out and play and feel ground balls and do stuff like that, cut and move, and not have to worry about it. So it was just a no-brainer. I won't have any problem recommending Accelerate ACL to anyone. If they've got a problem and they really want to come back, I'd give it 110%. See Evan Lewis and get a hold of these guys and see what they can do with you. Period. That's it. Hey, one thing that I wanted to bring up that is really important for people to remember is, over that 1.5 year period, my calf muscle, my gastroc and my soleus had literally almost quit working.
When you come up into that calf raise at the end of the jump squat, don't allow your foot to roll out to the side.
So do you want me to squeeze the floor?
I more so want you to, if you see my hand here, instead of rolling off to the side, I want you to drive kind of straight over top the feet, over top the toes.
I'll try.
Yep, good. Well, that's all we're looking for. You may not get this down 100% today. It's been obviously a long time in the making here that big toe does not want to cooperate 100%. So it's just something that we need to work through, which is completely fine.
And I couldn't get up on my tiptoes. I couldn't do heel raises or anything like that. And the electric stimulation process that Accelerated ACL works with helped me to get that back. And then I've continued to work on that on my own through different types of calf raises and different soleus exercises and things like that. So if it wasn't for that electric stimulation, my muscles were dying, literally, because there was no brain-body connection. So that's one of the big assets that I was able to achieve through Evan Lewis's help and ACL.